Hello everyone. This video you're going to see Arnie learning how to deal with rain, sleet, and snow with regard to her tent when camping. Then from last season you're going to see Arnie's hike from Fox Creek to Dickey Gap, which included her first experience with hiking in the snow.
That's right, everybody have a blessed day and get out and hike. Okay folks, so I am asking for input on how to deal with the tent when you're dealing with, let's say you start with rain, when you put your tent up at night when you get to camp, and then during the night it turns to sleet, then it turns to snow, and you wake up in the morning and you've got just a royal mess, which you'll see in this video. And I just want some input. Those of you that have had experience with it, I looked for lots of videos, didn't really see a lot of information out there on how to deal with a situation like this, and given when we're going, there's a good chance we're going to be dealing with it. So appreciate you watching, and thank you to all the people watching, commenting, subscribing, and liking. We really do appreciate it. It means a lot. So here's the videos. Hey everybody, well we've got a wet snow going on here in Louisville. Temperature's right at 30, and let's see, it feels like about 22, they said. I'm out back. I left the tent out overnight, let it get rained on, and the snow is falling on it now, so between it getting wet and then getting this snow on it, you can see it's pretty well dropping it down on the sides. Of course, if we were in there, we'd probably be banging on the sides, getting some of that snow off. Well, we're about to find out what leaving your tent overnight in the snow with not being in it and being able to shake the snow off the tent does to it. Hopefully the thing is not broken. Let's go check it out. Well, I know there's probably going to be some people out there that are going to let me know that this was not a very smart idea, but it really wasn't an idea. I honestly just forgot that I had it up out here, and since I did, we'll find out what happened. Alright, I'm going to shake all this off and see what we've got, see what the damage is. Well, I'm not sure what to do first here. Okay, first thing I've done is scrape off all the snow on the outside, and everything looks okay as far as stability. Nothing seems to have been torn or bent, and so that's good to know. Now let's go inside and see what we got. Alright, let the camera go in first here. I'm getting a good test for these gloves I got. And playing with all that snow, my fingertips, they are pretty cold, but they're not in a dangerous place. And I don't have anything to sit on here, so it's the Tyvek, the bottom of the tent, and snow. Well, shouldn't be snow under it, so it'll just be wet, cold, frozen ground. So far, everything looks okay in here. Back to the front here. It's obviously not pitching very well. Well, just for kicks, since I'm here and the inner tent is dry, except maybe some places around the edges outside, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can take it down with the fly up and keep the inner tent itself dry. See how dry it is. I'm going to start at the front door and work my way back and see if I can get the inner tent down. I was able to get the inner tent down from inside, and it does have a little bit of ice on it, so carrying it in my backpack there is going to be some water. I don't know that it'll get inside, but if it does I can dry it off. It shouldn't be too much. Now those back two clips back there, it's really hard to do from the inside, and so what I'm thinking here is, you know, let's just say there was a lot of wet sleet and stuff still falling, and I was trying to, you know, just keep things as dry as possible while I packed up, and for whatever reason I felt like I needed to go ahead and go. I don't know what reason I would have for doing this way, but just in case, we're trying it out. But I'm going to go outside, assuming I have my rain gear on, which I don't right now, but if I did, or I would, I'm going to go outside and undo those two end clips, and then get the inner tent stuffed in the backpack and the contractor bag, get the tie back kind of rolled up where it can stay dry, and then I'll deal with the fly. Well, I haven't done my final gear video yet, and when I did it, everybody was going to be going, what in the world are you carrying a small pair of needle nose pliers for? So I'm going to show you. I do not have strong hands and fingers anymore. A lot of times there are things I just can't pull with my hands, and these have, from everything from straps on the backpack to pulling out frozen tent stakes, and in this case this little clip right here, I couldn't do that with my fingers, so I've had to use these. Easy as can be with that. With my fingers, I could not pinch that to get that undone on any of the other ones. And then the stakes, I would have never gotten that out with my hand. Look at that frozen piece of dirt down there. I'm not ready to take the poles down yet, so I'm going to try and get the inner tent unhooked. It's the first time I've ever tried this in this kind of frozen condition, so. As much of this off of here as I can. Oops, I don't want to do that. Up under there, and we'll go do the other side. Alright, I got the tent out, the inner tent. It would be in the backpack. I would have my poncho over the backpack sitting out here somewhere on top of my little sit pad that I have, all packed up and ready to go with that part of the tent packed in it. I need to get the tie back out and the poles down, and so we're going to take the fly off and go from there. sure don't want to be carrying that heavy thing. So I'm going to have to think about what to do with this. Well, it's 19 degrees out here. Started at, it was 16, felt like 3. It's 19 now, feels like 6. And wanted to show you this thing I made, which I'll show up close when I do the gear video, but there's actually a Velcro piece that molds, when you can mold it, and that I sewed onto this just black fleece that I purchased at a fabric store so that I can breathe in and out and not fog my glasses. To keep my nose warm, I'm probably going to cut some of this off because I have a neck thing that I can wear, and I have the wool sweater on right now, which the neck comes all the way up to here if I want it to. And I've got it tied in the back, just a little strap around here to tie it. Probably put Velcro on it, and the real purpose of this is to find something to put over my nose when it's too hot to wear something around my head. Because my head may be warm, and I'm having to take off even my hat, but my ears and my nose are cold. So that was the purpose of this. And it's working, even in this extreme cold out here right now. So, got to finish picking up all these parts, stakes and things, and get inside where it's warm and figure out what I learned from all this, and put it up so that you guys can tell me what you know about it, because I'm a total rookie. Never done this before in my life, and haven't really seen any videos on how to deal with if your tent gets snow on it. I think the key is don't let it happen. You know, you wake up during the night several times, knock the snow off your tent. These 3-season tents, they are not made for all the poundage of snow. But the tent is fine. It's just got some ice on it still that's going to have to melt. Got it in the laundry room. Going to let it dry out and drip out and get it all dried off, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, I definitely want input on what you guys know, you guys that do know. How to deal with all this snow, and especially if it was wet snow, when it's really, really, really cold. So, all right, see you later.
Well, good morning. Arnie and I are here at Fox Creek Trailhead. Arnie's getting ready to hike the Dickey Gap, about 8 miles or so.
And what's the temperature?
It's 28 degrees.
Woo!
No wind, and we have wind. Wish y'all a good day, and we'll see you later.
God bless everyone.
She's leaving Fox Creek Trailhead and headed for Dickey Gap. God bless you, Arnie. Have a good walk, and we'll see you this afternoon.
So there's our little sign. Iron Mountain, 2.5 miles. Hurricane Campground, 7 miles, and Route 650, 8.5 miles. I believe Route 650 is where Dickey Gap is, which is where I'm headed. If the trail continues like it was yesterday, when G and I came down, that would be great. Doesn't that look neat? The stairs, the rocks in front, and look at that huge tree, just roots wrapped around the top of that layered boulder-like thing. Big tree. That's pretty neat looking. So I just checked on gut hooks, and this is Fox Creek. And we're at 3,460 feet to begin with. We've come up a little over 300 feet in a half a mile, and I'm kind of on top of a ridge. This is looking to my left, heading northbound, and then turning around. There's the mountains on the other side. Well, we're in full-fledged snow now, my first hike in the snow. Trail really looks like it's going to continue pretty much the same. It's a dry snow. It is melting, obviously, when it gets on clothes and things, but it isn't a real wet snow, so it's not too unbearable. And I took off the down jacket and the fleece jacket, so all right, let's move along. Well, I finally came across a big log that I could sit on a minute. Absolutely beautiful out here. Just a little bit of coverage on the ground. We've come up about 700 feet in about 1.3 or 4 miles. We've reached mile 511.8. We're at about 42-45 in elevation, which is right about 800 feet up from the start this morning, so that's good. And pulled the camera out because the snow's let up, and the trail changed a little bit at this point. We've got some rocks now. They're not real bad. They probably actually will help in this snow, to be honest. Plenty of separation between them, so far anyway. May slow me down a little bit, but not too much. We've reached elevation of 4350. It's at mile 512.1. You can see a few more rocks at this point, so we'll see how this downhill is going to be. Oh, and that clicking is still going on, so I don't know what it is. I'm sorry. I'm not sure I'll be able to get rid of it, so we may just have to live with it. We're at mile 513. Elevation is 3888. We just came out of this open ridge area with just trees around us into this kind of alleyway with rhododendrons. There's a campsite here. Looks like there's room for a few tents, maybe. We're coming up on the side trail to Hurricane Mountain Shelter. 513.2. It wasn't uphill. They say 1/10 of a mile about. I think it was a little longer, maybe. It's a nice shelter. Hurricane shelter is what it's called. Got the table under the cover, fire pit over there, fire ring. Great, nice place to rest for just a minute. And that's what we see out there. This would be a great place to stay. Just leaving Hurricane Mountain Shelter. You hear the river over here. There was a water source right before. The trail would stay like this. I could get there really quickly. Wow, we just haven't had this in our time of being out hiking. We're at mile 513.8. We're at about 34-35 in elevation. You can see the sign here for the Hurricane Creek Trail. It goes west a few miles to a Forest Service road, but we've got the double blaze there letting us know that we're going to head off down this way. This trail to this point from the Hurricane Mountain Shelter has been really wide with all these little rocks and stones, and actually jars the knees a little bit just because of the downhill, and your foot kind of turns a little from time to time, but otherwise not bad. Of course, the ground is frozen with this light covering of snow on it, so I'm sure that has some to do with what's going on, but I was concerned that there might be real ice on the trail today because of all the water we've seen lately, but I haven't seen any of that, so I'll take that. And we're still in the Mount Rogers National Recreation Area, which is a huge and beautiful area, one of the prettiest areas I've ever seen, with Grayson Highlands State Park just on the south side of it. And they have trail after trail after trail in here. I mean, a person could probably spend 2 or 3 months just trying to hike all the trails in this national recreation area. They got great maps, and AT shelters a lot of times are within range. I don't know, camping, I guess, on other trails. Come and check it out. For the most part, since we got off the real wide trail, we've been on this downhill ledge walk, and we're headed to a stream crossing, I think, about a half mile ahead. Okay, well, this is our first episode of Rocks and Water today, but it's pretty short, so that's good. You can see it up close. We're at 3,173 feet, 514.3. Lots of good water coming down from there. We're heading up. Looks like we got a few rocks to contend with. Well, this is what we were hoping we wouldn't see today, just for the sake of speed. Well, if that's all the rocks we have today, it'll be okay. Back to just the ledge walking on the trail that's crunching from the ice and the little bit of snow. All right, we're coming into 3,054 elevation, mile 514.5, and we got another stream here. We'll see you on the other side. Well, I got a little wet, but it all stayed down below the rubber, where the rubber comes together with the leather, or whatever the stuff is, on this boot. But I wasn't in the water very long, so I'm hoping we're going to be okay. Just dawned on me that I didn't have my rain jacket hood on, and it's been snowing for about 15 minutes now. Having a great time. You really ought to be out here. Honest. I mean, to some people this looks like a dreary winter day, but when you're out here doing this, it's not dreary anymore. It's fun, it's exciting. I know, it's crazy, but what are you gonna do? Coming up on mile 515 and yet another stream crossing. Looks like gut hooks would call this a reliable stream. Place over there you could get water. Wasn't too bad. This portion of the trail has been pretty much the same for a while. Some roots, some rocks, and every now and then a segment like this where it's nice and smooth. We call this rock hopping. For the last several days, that seems to be the order of the day. I guess you could say I'm getting better and better at that. Had a lot of practice lately. Probably 30 or more in the last 5 times I've been out on the trail. Having enough water, not an issue in the highlands of Virginia. Mile 515.9, elevation's 2959. We've been going mostly down with a few ups here and there. Plenty of water in the Virginia Highlands. And that was a slippery rock. Oh, foot, please don't slip. Whoa. It's amazing how a little thing like that can take so much time just to make sure you don't slip. And you know, it's not so much minding getting wet as it is landing on a rock on your hip or your leg or something, turning an ankle, anything like that. The loss of youthful agility makes life so different when you get older. Mile 516.3, elevation about 2930. This is the Hurricane Campground Trail. Gut Hook says it's about 7/10 of a mile. Our little sign here says half mile. It's closed in the winter. Appalachian Trail to the right. So I guess we'll go that way. Seems like a good idea. Loving this trail today as far as the lack of rocks and roots and water compared to recently. It's been a much more enjoyable hike on the feet. Oh buddy, that's a steep little climb. Not far, but steep. Hard to tell in the camera, but one of the steeper ones I've had today. Still, the trail's decent, so won't complain too much. Now we're coming into mile 516.4, elevation's 2986. We got another stream flowing like crazy. And then looks like we're going uphill again. Well, we got a little over 300 feet up to go right here for the next 6/10 of a mile. I don't think I was prepared for that. About 330 feet up. But prepared or not, here we go. Once again though, the trail is just a nice easy. These uphills are sometimes in some ways harder than the steps, which I've said before, but I've been doing them so much that my legs are starting to get stronger and my calves. Still not strong enough to really do it justice, but it's getting better day by day. We'll get there eventually. Check it out. Something to encourage me up this hill. That side of the mountain, sunlight. having to climb around. Little things like this are not going to help me with my speed, but it is what it is. Yay! It's been real rocky. Not as bad as previous days, but still slowed me down. Maybe this will continue a while. We're really pretty much enclosed here, and so it's going to be getting dark. Once again, I am finishing up in the dark from the Fox Creek trailhead to the Dickey Gap trailhead. It's 8 miles. It's got some good up in it, some down, but not a massive amount of rocks, not a massive amount of roots. I had to show you this. I'm on the other end, the north side. This was a little tricky, walking along these rocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 big, I guess you'd call them very large rocks or small boulders. Take a crane to move it, I know that. I just had to put in one last little uphill climb. All right, well, I'm here with G, and so how was your day?
It was a relaxing day. Had a little stress with all the snow and concern for Arnie, but we were able to get service a couple of times this morning, and she texted me her progress and what was going on, so that was very helpful. I was confident that she was going to be on her schedule. And she showed up actually 27 minutes before I expected her to.
All right, everybody. Well, God bless everyone, and have a great evening.
Good night.